Howdy, folks. I'm Ansi Andromeda, artfully arranging aesthetic auras.
I'm Amber.
And folks, here's more aesthetic auras for us to arrange, I guess. And maybe we can have a fact about Andromeda. Andromeda was known as the Chained Lady, and she was often depicted in mythology as Perseus's wife. For more mythological facts, tune in tomorrow. Alright, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Hitting on Our Server Last Night? Last night, we had our annual Galentine's dinner at a very local hole-in-the-wall restaurant. Our server was the most gorgeous man that I have ever seen in my life. When I found out that his parents owned the place, and he's in training to become an officer in the Navy, and he's studying engineering, and he loves his mom and little sisters, I was not only in love, but I'm 100% certain that I'm going to marry him. And I acted accordingly. I was not subtle about my romantic interest, and to ensure that I was going to be able to get in touch with him again, I made him give me his phone, unlock it for me so that I could enter my contact info, and text myself so that I had his number. He actually seemed to appreciate that I didn't beat around the bush, and he texted me back when I texted him good night last night. Well, there are several conflicts that came from this last night. First of all, I used to get so mad when guys used to hit on me when I worked as a bartender. To me, that's a very different dynamic of a girl hitting on a guy and a guy hitting on a server. My friend said that I was a massive hypocrite because of how aggressive I was. I guess tagged onto this, and they said that I monopolized his attention when he was pretty busy doing his job. The second conflict, that these are my best friends, but I only see them a couple times a year, and they said that they felt ignored by me because I was goo-goo over a stranger. They said that I could have had the same outcome getting his number without making them feel like an afterthought and ignored. I don't know, I'm just so giddy over last night that I'm having a hard time seeing that I did something wrong. Am I the jerk? Alright, folks, what do you think?
Yeah, I think OP's the jerk, and that also is workplace harassment. Like, you have to understand that when you are at a restaurant, you are in a position of power over the server. They are relying on you for tips if you're in the US or a country that does tips. And so they have to be as nice and charming as possible to try and make a living.
Yeah.
And the whole like taking his phone, like it's one thing to quietly leave your number behind with the tip or something like that. There's maybe still a little bit of questionability, but like it's like the least intrusive way to do it, right? It's another thing entirely to demand that someone hands over their phone and unlocks it and then puts your number in and text yourself.
Yeah.
OP kind of like gets into this in the comments where she's like, well, if people are like, how would you feel if someone did that to you? And they're like, well, if it was him, I'd be fine with it. But like a regular guy, like, ew, no, gross.
Yeah, and I think that that really answers their question, right? And the thing is that maybe things worked out for OP, but they really shouldn't have worked out, right?
Right, and you have to understand, like, she's like, this guy is an NPC in her fantasy, basically. And, you know, it doesn't matter what he wants. She's decided that she's going to marry him, and that is that. And it's just really gross to treat another person like they're just an object for you to fulfill your desire.
Yeah. So I think that this is one of those situations where maybe he appreciated it, maybe he enjoyed the attention, but there's no way of knowing that. And there's no way of knowing that in general when you are in a position, you know, in a server, client type of position, right? And it was again like under the assumption that his tip was going to depend on this. So maybe he's interested, maybe he's not, and you really just need to allow people to have their own agency when it comes to things like this. So leaving your number with him and allowing him to go ahead and contact you, I think would have been a far better way of approaching this than to foist yourself on him, force him to unlock his phone, enter your phone number in, and then text yourself his number.
Right, I mean, and I'm not saying OP is nefarious, but this is kind of borderline, like, really creepy behavior, not even borderline. Like, at that stage, there's so many things you could do. Like, when you have someone's information, like, phone number like that, like, it just, I see stalker behavior in this, and it's just not good.
Well, it certainly doesn't seem very good at the moment. So hopefully this gave OP something to think about and reflect on, and hopefully forms their future interactions with people, because right now they don't have a very healthy perspective on this kind of dynamic.
Well, and to top that off, she also was mistreating her friends here because they came to celebrate with her. And she's just like completely ignoring them so she can hit on this guy the whole night.
Well, and then it's a Galentine's Day, right?
Mhm.
So it was actually supposed to be kind of like we're friends and we're, appreciating our friendship. And it turned into her being gaga over this guy.
Mhm.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Wise Woman 707 says, "You're the jerk. It sounds like you completely ignored your friends last night and probably embarrassed them too. How else did you know all of that information about a stranger in such a short period of time? And then insisting that he give you his number. He probably did it so that you would finally be quiet and let him do his job. You were way out of line and incredibly rude to your friends." And OP replies, "I mean, I asked him." And Hal Jordan 55 says, "And would have you been fine if someone asked you the same way when you were a bartender?" And OP replies, "If he would have asked, oh my goodness, yes. But the average frat guy troll that comes into my bar, no." So again, you really...
Well, exactly. And the thing is, I know OP may think that she's, hot stuff or whatever. That does not guarantee another person is going to be into you.
Yeah.
Not even everyone has sexual attraction. So to just assume, oh, well, clearly this isn't the same because it's not creepy. It could very well be creepy to the recipient.
Yeah. So I want OP to put themselves in the shoes of their average frat guy troll that comes into their bar. Do they perceive themselves as your average frat guy troll?
And no, they don't. In their mind, they're hot stuff, and
Yeah.
this lady should be fawning over them.
Yeah. So OP, just putting yourself in someone else's shoes for a moment, you can see where the problem becomes. You do not know if you are the one for him in that case, right? Maybe he's your one and he checks off all the boxes for you, but how do you know that you check off all the boxes for him?
You can't even go off his body language because, again, he's required to be nice to you for his job.
Yeah. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, "Am I a jerk for rejecting the gift of property if my in-laws won't put my name on it?" Hi, I'm a 27-year-old female and I'm getting married to a 27-year-old male. We have a daughter who is 1 year old. We currently live in a rental, and over the past 5 years, we've saved enough for a house deposit. The plan was that after we got married, we would start house shopping and put down the down payment from our savings and get a mortgage. We had already started looking at houses at that point. My fiance's parents told us a few days ago that they would be giving us a property that they owned as a wedding gift. This is amazing and very generous. However, the house requires some serious renovations, which is okay because this house is worth about $200,000 more than the houses that we could afford even in its current condition, as it's bigger and better in a great location. My fiance wants to use the money that we saved for a deposit to renovate it. We told my parents, and they said that they would like to pay for half of the renovations as their wedding gift. This means that we can afford all the renovations. However, after talking to his mom, she doesn't intend to put my name on the papers to the house. So legally, only my husband would own the house. This means that if anything went bad for us, that I would have to move out with our daughter and potentially more children, which I don't think is fair. She says that it's reasonable, as if we divorce, I can't live in it or claim the house until the court and protects him better if he was taken to court. I have no intention to divorce him, obviously, but I do worry what would happen if he wanted to divorce me or something happened. His mom says that it's their gift and it's not fair to be in my name. I've said to them that if they won't put my name on it, I don't want it, and we would go ahead and purchase one with both of our names on it. Fiance's mom is furious, as the house that we're looking at is an hour away from her. Also, because she says that I'm ungrateful. Fiance is also saying that I'm ungrateful for not accepting their gift, which I would do if it didn't come with the condition that I didn't own it. Am I the jerk for declining their gift because they won't put my name on the papers? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, I don't think OP's the jerk. I think that she's making a very wise move. It is not a good idea to invest a bunch of your money into a property that you have no claim to.
Hmm.
And honestly, if the fiance doesn't get on board on OP's side, I would say don't marry him.
Yeah. So I think that this is one of those situations where a gift with strings attached isn't really a gift at all. And they aren't being as kind or generous as they think they are. And OP does have some very valid points here. There could be a lot of reasons why having their name on this house, both of their names on this house, would be a good idea. But again, like, this is a gift to her son, right? To their son. This isn't a gift to OP and her husband or fiance. This is solely a gift to him.
Right. Well, and what do you want to bet? They would rub that in OP's face every chance they got that this is not her house, this is their son's house.
Yeah.
And then they would use this to, pull strings and control what they could. I mean, it sounds like this is a house very close to them, so they don't want OP and her fiance moving an hour away, which isn't even that far. They want him close by, and
Yeah.
I'm wondering how much of a problem that's going to be in their relationship.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that they could be a pretty big problem. I mean, I think that it's going to be fine up until if they have to get divorced, but this is going to incentivize OP to stay in the relationship for the wrong reasons too, right? And I think that that's not a very good thing, right? I think that you want to be able to have independence from a relationship that goes south for one reason or another, and that it isn't a good way of starting off a relationship or a wedding or marriage rather if you put conditions like this on a present. Oh, and then one more point. OP's also putting their own money into the renovations. So it's a little bit shady for them to be like, "Oh, this is a present to you. You have to pay for it and you don't get anything out of it."
Right, yeah, 100% do not put a dime into a place that doesn't have your name on it, OP. Like, you have every reason to be concerned.
Yeah. Just make him pay the mortgage, make him pay everything if this is going to be his property at that
Right.
point in
I
time.
mean, if he's so dead set on having this, then be like, okay, if it's only in your name, you pay for everything.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Will I Be a Jerk for Not Letting My Oldest Go on a Disney Trip If My Youngest Couldn't Attend? Will I be a jerk if I let my sister take one of my daughters but not the other? I have two daughters, a 12-year-old female and a 10-year-old female. My sister always favors the older one, and she gets better gifts for her and she takes her to places while she barely spends any time with the younger one. I've talked to her about this, but she refuses to budge, and I have sort of let it slide until now. Anyways, my daughter loves Disney and has always wanted to go. Unfortunately, we can't afford the cost. My sister offered a 7-day trip to Disney during the spring break, and I had no problem with her taking them, but she only offered for my oldest to go and not my younger one. I was appalled by this, and I asked her why. She said that my oldest doesn't want my youngest there, so she isn't including her, which is true. Because according to my oldest, the younger one is annoying. I told my sister that she just can't listen to everything that my oldest says, and she needs to take both. And my sister told me that the youngest needs to know that life isn't always fair, and sometimes she will miss out. I understand that, but honestly, I don't think that the situation counts. My sister is intentionally excluding my youngest because my older daughter doesn't want her there. My daughter is really excited to go. But I told her and my sister that if the youngest couldn't go, then the other one wasn't going to go either. My oldest is really upset, and my sister is mad at me and says that I'm coddling my youngest. And I know my oldest will probably resent her sister. Will I be the jerk? Alright folks, what do you think?
I mean, I don't think OP would be the jerk for stopping this, but OP is in the wrong for letting this blatant favoritism get to this point. This has very clearly been having an effect on the daughters, and it needed to stop a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly driven a wedge between them, right? And I mean, I think that your sister has been poisoning your daughter, your older daughter, against the younger one for a long time, probably making her feel like she's entitled to this vacation by herself, probably by telling her that the other sister is annoying and all these other things, right?
I mean, why does the 12-year-old even know about it? Like, someone who is well-intentioned would talk to a parent before even suggesting a trip.
Yeah.
Your sister is not well-intentioned. She should not be able to have this kind of power and turn your children against each other like this. Like, you probably should just go no contact with her until she can, treat them fairly.
Yeah, I mean, I know that finances are tight, it sounds like, for OP, but also if they can afford some family counseling sessions, that might do a lot of good to help mend the relationship between the 10-year-old and 12-year-old. And I also want to address the whole life's not fair situation, right? That saying is thrown out around a lot, and life isn't fair. And I just want to get that out of the way. I know that life isn't fair, but part of our role as people in society is to make sure that life is as fair as possible.
Right, and that's the frustrating thing is like this is an injustice that she is creating. It's not like a natural consequence of the universe.
Yeah.
It is literally she is deciding to take one person over the other because she only likes one niece for some reason.
Yeah. And unless, like, the younger one is actually doing things to terrorize them and bully them, then there's not any reason to exclude her from these things. And again, like, when we say life isn't fair, sometimes people are born with disabilities. Sometimes people lose limbs, or they have something happen to them that's tragic, right? And in that respect, life isn't fair, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't do things to help people. Like, oh, this person lost a leg, well, we may as well just bury them, right? No, we help them adapt to society. We give them extra help in order to make things more fair for them because of the inherent unfairness in life.
Yeah, we provide accommodations and we work to, change the inherent biases in our society, because a lot of this it is social constructs, and we can change them.
So I think that absolutely your sister is in the wrong, and your older daughter, she needs maybe some alone time to think about why her attitude is the way it is towards her younger sister.
Yeah, and hopefully it's not too late, but it may be, because you've let this go on for so long. She may already just be convinced that her younger sister is the worst.
Yeah. And unfortunately now, any action you take is only probably going to reinforce that. And so it might be one of these things where counseling is going to be one of the few avenues that you can take in order to rectify this.
Yeah, but the last thing you need is your sister to have unrestricted access to your older daughter for 7 days.
Yeah, exactly. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here. And Amber, she has a joke.
What might an aggressive small dog have in common with the monster under your bed?
Well, I mean, an aggressive small dog will claw and drag you under the bed. I mean, I know this from personal experience. And a monster under the bed will claw and drag you under the bed, which I also know from personal experience. And so I think also, like, monsters under the bed, they like to gnaw on bones. Dogs under the bed like to gnaw on bones. Very, very similar. They both have razor sharp teeth and glowing red eyes. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of commonalities between,
Did you grow up in Please Don't Feed the Vampire?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The glowing red eyes on dogs thing.
I just thought that was natural.
The answer I had was they both could be called ankle biters, so you actually were pretty close.
I was pretty close. I was closer than not close. And I have Earl Grey. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday! Congratulations, folks. We made it to the end of the week. It's over. We've got the weekend to look forward to. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please, have it involve a gift.
Well, I'm going to just paraphrase something you said before, that gifts with strings attached aren't gifts at all.
Yes, I think that's good philosophy, especially since it was my own words. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!